With all eyes on the dragons and the Iron Throne, you might think it would be easier to miss out on unintentional editing mistakes, but let us tell you that you are wrong. The fans of House of Dragon are keen-eyed. Nothing escapes the scrutiny of a dragon lover. In this video, we'll be highlighting a few CGI mistakes that slipped through editing of House of Dragon, and fans were brutal about it, in a nice way. So stay tuned to the end for the best and worst of House of Dragon VFXs. Viserys, 3 or 5 fingers. Well, we admit it, when you're creating such a fan-flaring show, it's a lot of pressure. Everything has to be perfect, flawless, or more like gods have to be good. But with a lot of fan following comes great responsibility as well, and sometimes mistakes just happen. The newest Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon, has the chance to differentiate itself from the main series. Its opening episode was purposefully sluggish and verbose, as if to convince hurt Game of Thrones viewers that they would do it right this time. Nothing would distract spectators from the action. Every T would be crossed and every I would be dotted. Before someone in post-production made a major mistake, this lasted for 2.5 fantastic episodes. King Viserys, played by Paddy Considine, is so horribly unfit to life as a ruler that the Iron Throne itself is slowly killing him, according to one recurring motif of the program thus far. He often cuts himself on its blades, which results in a variety of infected sores developing on his body. The severed digits were removed from Considine's hands using computer graphics in this week's episode, which showed that Viserys had lost a few fingers to the throne. So what went wrong? You guessed it right. Viserys has all his fingers in one of the scenes this week. The king is shown in the scenario under consideration giving a letter to a soldier. The king's 4th and 5th, ring and pinky fingers, which were previously absent but now seem green, were the focus of the Twitter's users' close-up. Since the beginning of the series, King Viserys has been afflicted with a strange sickness. In Episode 2, he received a warning that if it continued to progress, he may lose his arm. This time, the time leap in Episode 3 takes place 3 years in the future, therefore it's possible that the king's fingers perished. But this is no mere continuity issue, because Considine happens to be wearing bright green screen gloves in the scene. Viserys' fingers are cut off by the visual artist in the remaining episodes of the show, who then paint the backdrop back in. But in this case, that didn't happen for whatever reason. Is it not worrying? Everyone engaged in the episode's post-production, including editors, producers, graphic artists, and network executives, saw those fingers, yet no one noticed the error. If they did, we would have known, since it would have been so simple to repair. There's a strong likelihood that it has already been cleared up at this point. There's a fair probability that Viserys' hand will be equally as broken and diseased if you see House of the Dragon tonight. It's too late, though. The web noticed it. Internet users never forget. Online users of Twitter made fun of the error and posted screenshots of the king's fingers. One Twitter user joked, "Not the green screen glove on Viserys' missing fingers," while using laughing emojis. Many viewers were unhappy that these errors continued to happen, despite the astounding claimed budget of $20 million per episode. But some questioned whether priorities had changed in light of the recent budget decrease rumors that surrounded the streamer. Maybe the CGI team is too focused on the dragons. They are missing out on small details. This is maybe a positive thing in some ways. House of the Dragon has a receptive and voracious audience, as seen by the numerous occasions fans have detected a straightforward and minor production fault. This is not a show that should be playing in the background as you aimlessly browse TikTok. Every frame in this program is examined, analyzed, and debated. Many individuals have strong feelings about this program. If it hadn't, nobody would have noticed if Considine had shown up at the scene disguised as a gigantic frog. But other than this small, honest mistake, or maybe not, fans are quick to bring up the previous mishaps undertaken by the sequel of House of Dragon, Game of Thrones. How could we forget the infamous Starbucks cup and water bottles in the finale scene? Starbucks cup in Winterfell. It was a startling sight, a contemporary takeout coffee cup, first identified as a Starbucks cup, then as one from a neighborhood coffee shop in Bainbridge, Northern Ireland, casually placed in a scene from the far-off, magical realm of Game of Thrones. The internet immediately went crazy as the cup made an appearance in Episode 4 of the 8th and final season of the program, apparently accidentally left next to goblets and animal horns during a festive feast at Winterfell Castle. Since then, HBO has subtly eliminated the cup from the program. It also contributed to the laughter by tweeting a joke about the gaffe saying, "We're sorry, it's a little-known fact, but Westeros was the first place to really have a Starbucks," said Bernie Caulfield, one of the show's executive producers, to WNYC. There is a video village to start with. The director, screenplay, supervisor, cameraman, director, photography, and other crew members view what is being recorded on a monitor from this location. The footage is then forwarded to editors, visual effects teams, and various post-production checkpoints from there. Maybe this occurred. The performers believed the cup was hidden, and one of the cameras shifted places. Or maybe it was just in the shot for one take before someone discovered it and took it out, forgetting to make a notation for the editing process. Another hypothesis is that it was overlooked because of how well its color matched the other props. Hawk Richter, an art director for Game of Thrones Season 4 to 8, commented on that go-viral moment and remarked that it's usual for such misplaced components to unintentionally make it into the final edit of TV series and movies. On a set, things might be forgotten, Richter noted. As a result of the fact that it hasn't occurred with Thrones thus far, he said that the coffee cup mistake has been blown out of proportion. An anachronistic mistake like the Jeep from Braveheart or the gas canisters in the chariots from Gladiator is always humiliating to see in a film or on TV. It makes sense that some errors would occur considering how much footage the show's creators had to capture in such a short amount of time. Fans at least have a better understanding of a cup being left on the set unintentionally than they do of the program being too dark to view. Previously on Jimmy Fallon's U.S. talk show, Clark, who was suspected of being the perpetrator, said, "We just attended a party before the Emmys, and Conleth, who portrays Viserys and is seated next to me in that scene, takes me away and says, 'Amelia, I've got to tell you something, love. The coffee cup belonged to me.' But Starbucks coffee cup was not where the blunders ended, and as observant as the fans are, the finale of Game of Thrones had its own set of editing mistakes. Plastic water bottles in the Succession meeting. You're obviously overlooked how many mistakes the show has made in its last season if you believed Game of Thrones could get through its series finale, The Iron Throne, without another coffee cup incident. It turns out that the contentious climax featured two related production blunders, where contemporary drinks were left on the medieval set while the cameras were rolling. As the program aired, astute viewers called attention to the sight of two incredibly out-of-date plastic water bottles that were seen in a crucial moment. The misplaced water bottles went viral right after, and some fans tried to work the errors into Samwell's storyline in the program itself. Others viewed the production flaws as another indication that the show's last season had subpar production work in addition to a weak storyline. Even while Game of Thrones has been a near constant cause of internet controversy this season, the water bottle mistakes highlight the program's significant impact on social media and internet culture. There may never be another TV program or a geek cultural event as significant as this one, but memes will always exist. Ironically, the creators of House of the Dragon mocked this mistake before it aired by saying there will be Easter eggs involving Starbucks cups hidden throughout the episodes. Sadly, after only 3 episodes, they already have a problem of their own. But even so, once you've seen the green glove, it's impossible to forget about the green glove. This should be a concern in upcoming episodes given Game of Thrones' shaky past. What if we spot a prop wearing an AirPod? What if an all-bird couple contained a courtier? What if Matt Smith, as folks did in the 1980s, momentarily enters the frame while toting a ghetto blaster on his shoulder? We can't let this take place. House of the Dragon, organize your affairs. The error context. House of Dragon Episode 3 recap. Contrary to appearances, House of the Dragon and its parent program Game of Thrones have very little in common. The only similarities between the two shows are that they both take place in the same universe and that both include at least one actor riding a dragon. A powerful family with a lot of animosity is the subject of the Game of Thrones spin-off, which is a less intimate drama. Game of Thrones was a fantasy epic about a battle of continental proportions that was laced with supernatural dangers. It shares a lot more similarities with TV shows like Dallas and HBO's own Succession than it does with major fantasy masterpieces like Lord of the Rings. Additionally, second of his name is here to demonstrate that in House of the Dragon, an uncomfortable birthday party can be just as perilous as a battlefield in case there was any remaining doubt regarding the show's primary genre. Prince Daemon finally lives up to his reputation as a rogue in Week 3, notwithstanding House of the Dragon's The Rogue Prince episode from last week, second of his name, an episode that follows two distinct stories, Daemon and Lord Corlys Velaryon's war against the crab-feeder Kragus Drahar and the Stepstones, while the Targaryen royal family throw a birthday party in mainland Westeros. It is the episode that finally features the mega-hit spin-off's first explosive war scene. Soon enough, we'll reach Daemon's mission. We'll start with the prince's brother as usual. Since the publication of The Rogue Prince, a lot has changed. In addition to being husband and wife, King Viserys and Alicent Hightower are also the proud parents of a 2-year-old boy, Aegon II, who is named after Aegon the Conqueror. Despite official declarations of loyalty to the current ruling heir, Rhaenyra, many in the realm saw young Aegon as the heir apparent to the Iron Throne. Despite his own long-ago hope of a child born with a crown, Viserys himself has not indicated that he would prefer his son to his daughter. It'll be quite interesting to see how the writers continue with the script. All we can hope is that the viewers are not left disappointed with the end like Game of Thrones. All's well that ends well. Maybe we'd even forget the iconic green fingers. And that's it from our side. Did you notice the VFX mistake the first time? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye.